the young guys, particularly Garrett, are really taking nice strides. He had another nice scrimmage today.
Do you anticipate having a starter name like going into game week that you would share, or is that a deal that it may be day of game before you even make a decision on that?
Kind of have an idea. Let you all know at some point this week what that's going to be.
Did y'all take it as an opportunity as a coaching staff to get up in the booth with the headsets and all that stuff?
We didn't do that today. So traditionally for the first two scrimmages we don't do the headsets. But Wednesday we have kind of a dress rehearsal where we'll come in, get on buses, do the dog walk, bring them into the stadium, do our pregame routine in terms of stretch and warm up and things like that. Then we'll play a first half, kind of a thud scrimmage with headsets and all the game day kind of assignments and things like that. So we'll do that dry run on Wednesday.
From a health standpoint, where are you guys at right now? A couple weeks out.
I'm talking to Thomas and his staff. When no one's out for an extended period of time, so I think normal practice 15 or 16. I think it's a normal bumps and bruises at camp, but no one that's out for. The word indefinitely or for an extended period of time. I should know that, English major. Indefinitely. Is that right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right, good.
So Kendall should be ready for the opener.
Yeah. I mean, knock on wood. I mean, upper
Yeah.
body. I mean, he's been doing a bunch of stuff and kind of progressing them into team drills. But he's we're anticipating him being ready. So you never know.
Willie back in practice full time.
Sure.
Willie back in practice full time.
Willie's still got a lower body. We held him out today, and we're cautiously optimistic for that when we start ULL prep that he'll be ready to go.
How different is the quarterback competition for you this year compared to last year when you had a returning starter in the mix and this year you don't?
I think the difference is there's not an incumbent, where Nick had played a lot of football and, won a lot of big games and, kind of had a young guy behind him that you were looking to evaluate and develop. And now it's, I'll say both untested guys. One guy's played in this system for 1 year and the other one for going on his fourth year. So when I say, every depth charts are written in pencil. Every spot is open, but this is one where KT would have had to do something out of the ordinary last year to unseat Nick, and now, it's a true open position battle.
Penalties were a problem in some of the games last year, even in the bowl game. But
Yeah.
Are you seeing more discipline out of them during these scrimmages and stuff?
Yeah, I think, after the Kentucky debacle, I think we got it cleaned up pretty nice. I think actually statistically we were in the middle, maybe the upper half of the conference in penalties, and then the bowl game kind of lost track of that a little bit, and had some. To me, there's going to be holds, there's going to be pass interference, there's going to be things like that, but it's the pre-snap offsides and the post-snap deals. But yeah, I think year two when you talk about discipline as you're mentioning. I think that ties into culture. I think we're seeing great leadership and chemistry, and I would hope discipline on and off the field is part of that.
Any update on Corliss or Kareem?
The update is there's no update, unfortunately. But not for lack of effort. We're trying, and as soon as we know, we'll let you all know.
Well, you generally like to have a clean divide between the ones and the twos at wide receiver, like
Yeah.
well-defined rotation there. How close are you to that, do you think?
To a rotation?
Or to like well-defined ones and twos
Well,
at wide receiver?
they're making it hard. When you look at which is a good thing. When you look at the Z position, you've got Osiris and Javante. He made that correction. So if you are, it's a long A, straight line across it on a soft A. They're really pushing each other, and he's a guy coming in from JUCO that has made a lot of nice plays in camp. Dedrick, Zuber, and Austin, and then Guidry and Cam. Those guys are all pushing each other, and I don't know that necessarily. I don't know if it'll define itself up until the game week. You know what I mean? But to me, it's a good sign when you have guys that are pushing each other and there's true competition there.
Is WAP at X? Or is
WAP is an X, yes.
Coach, what is WAP's availability right now? What's his status with the team?
Yeah, WAP right now is back home in New Orleans with his mom dealing with some personal issues, and we've kind of talked to him on a daily basis. We've given him a time frame where we're going to kind of address it and see where he's at mentally, and I think that's sometimes year 21 and being a husband and a father of young kids, that I think we lose sight of the emotional aspect of it and that component, and you get caught up in playing time, you get caught up in depth charts, and you realize the kids have problems that are outside the white lines, and we're doing everything we can to support them, and it doesn't have anything to do with football, but those are things where I have a young man sitting across from me. I'd want him treated like someone would treat my own son, and you know, we're giving him the support, and, you know, we want him to be here, and, you know, the decision he makes, we're gonna stand behind him.
This time last year, Coach, we found out Nick Fitzgerald wasn't going to be available for the openers. Is there anybody at this point that's a non-medical situation that'll be unavailable?
I mean, we'll get that information to you. So on as game day or the day before, anyone who's going to, you know, miss the game, we'll provide you guys with that list. So it's easier to do at that point.
I know you're just walking off the field from the scrimmage, but any guys stand out, any notables?
We spread the ball around pretty good. You know, Colin had limited work, but he had a couple nice runs. We started it off backed up at the -1. You know, offense needing the first down, defense needing to hold them, and Colin cracked a big one there. And then we put it at the 35, didn't move the field. 35 going in. We did tight red zone, and then we did overtime. So I think the good thing offensively is that you know, we spread it around. A bunch of different guys made plays. I can't think of who all the touchdowns were. Martin Emerson had the one interception, the one turnover. He made a nice play on the sideline towards the tail end of it. But you know, it's that'd be something more I got to go through with a fine-tooth comb. But those are the things that kind of stood out initially.
You mentioned Emerson there. Is this the point in practice where you have an idea of who might take the 4 games in Redshirt and who's going to be a bigger contributor?
Funny you say that. Staff meeting this morning, we have, I think I've talked about this before, we have a chart that's red, green, and yellow, where we kind of take everyone who is a true freshman or is a returning player who hasn't utilized their red shirt, and on a game-by-game basis, green means they're going to definitely play, and we're going to utilize them and not red shirt. Yellow means we're not sure, and red means they're doing definitely red shirt. So not tomorrow, but the Sunday following, we'll kind of assess that.
Are the players notified that as you go, or they find out?
Yeah,
as the
they are.
season
They
goes?
are. Yep. We include them in that process.
We've talked about Javante Payton several times, but every practice we come out here, he kind of flashes in practice. What do you guys see when he goes to full team drills, when he's got a defender in his face?
He's got very good speed. He's got unique body control. I know we kind of compared him to a guy when I was at Pitt, and that was a long time ago. Kind of sinewy, you know, kind of real quick start and stop, change of direction. You know, he's got, you know, good natural hands, but you know, he's the kind of guy at either the Z position, or he could probably play the slot too, that combines good athleticism with good change of direction and natural ball catching skills.
With Kareem.
Kind of taller than you think too.
With Kareem not here yet, who's kind of you see making the third team back? You know, behind Nick?
Lee Witherspoon's been taking them reps, and then you got Alec, Rob Rivers, and then we got another young man walk on, Connor Higgins, taking them reps. But right now it's Kylan, Nick, and Lee. And Lee, he had a touchdown tonight, right? He had a couple long runs. He scored a touchdown tonight. Yeah.
How's he without the ball?
How's he without the ball?
Yeah.
You talking pass pro?
Yeah. Any situations not
He-
running?
No, I mean he's improving. The first thing is knowing who to block, and then the second thing is we got Brian Cole or Harold Thompson ripping off the edge to kind of stand in there and you know, block them. You know, those are two. So we'll take the first step, know who to, and then after that. But the thing is, he has the will to is better than the skill to sometimes, and if he can't, you know, he'll stick his face in there and block. We gotta get him reps and teach him technique.
Some of the players have mentioned that Chauncey Rivers has really kind of stepped up into a leadership role. What are you seeing from him?
Exactly what you said. You know, last year, you know, it's kind of hard not to get caught in the shadows of Montez and Gary. You know, they cast a pretty big shadow, but now with Kobe, Marquise, and Fletcher kind of taking that role, and when you're in your last year of eligibility, you kind of have that senior year urgency. So everything that he's doing, it's characteristic of a guy who knows what he needs to do in his last year personally and for the team.
Sort of off topic of training camp, but
Yep.
Speaking about recruiting, I was looking at some numbers, specifically how much schools are spending on recruiting. Mississippi State is, you know, toward the bottom of the SEC and even Power 5, but
Yeah.
is there a situation in which you think that those numbers could go up, and if they did, you know, what would that do for the program?
Yeah, we, you know, certainly I don't know that we'll ever have the resources of an Alabama or an LSU or Texas A&M. You know, I think that's part of our, you know, ability to, I don't say do more with less, but I think you look at the last 2 years, you know, the room we're standing in now, you know, new players' locker room here and in SEAL, you know, new recruitment lounge, new position meeting rooms, you know, new graphics going up around the building. I think we're doing as good as we can and pushing the envelope. But I think it ties back to what we spoke about last time, that we've got to be really good in the evaluation process and find the type of kids who being at Mississippi State is important to. So, you know, certainly would love to have those kind of budgets and all the bells and whistles and gadgets, but, you know, the administration's doing a good job you know, trying to get us those things, and, you know, ultimately we got to, you know, play the hand we're dealt.